Most of you know what the words global warming means, but do you know down to the tiniest of detail what makes global warming happen? I'm hoping that most of you have an idea. While researching, I kept finding different sources that never really got to the point. I wanted to know what was happening to the polar bears. I love animals, and honestly, polar bears are on my top 5 of favorite animals. But to understand what is happening to the polar bears, we must first start with what is happening to the ice that they live on. Does anyone know the definition of global warming? Neither did I. I could tell you a vague idea of what it meant, but this is the actual definition. Global warming is the term that is used to refer to the increase in the Earth's average surface temperature. It is due mostly to the release of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are the gases released into the atmosphere by human-fueled activities such as increased fossil fuel consumptions, leading to the release of carbon dioxide, the increase of automobiles, and the use of nitrogen-based fertilizers. These are just a few of the things that create greenhouse gases, or GHGs for short. So how does all of this affect the Earth, you may be thinking? Well, carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor are just a few that are affecting the Earth's atmosphere. The ozone has the capability of absorbing these chemicals/compounds from the Earth's surface, which then alters the heat balance of Earth. So, how are the greenhouse gases affecting the polar bears? This is very simple. The Earth's temperature is rising, so in return, the ice that the polar bears are living on is melting, causing the polar bears to swim longer distances or stay on land. Scientists have found that polar bears are drowning, and they believe the polar bears are not able to swim for that long of a distance. Most of the time, polar bears and their young spend the time upon the ice floats. In 2004, when the polar ice cap retreated over 150 miles north of Alaska, researchers found 10 polar bears swimming more than 160 miles offshore in search of food. Yes, polar bears can swim long distances, but have become used to swimming just between the ice floats, which is relatively short. Professor Richard Steiner, a marine biology professor from the University of Alaska, stated, "For anyone who has wondered how global warming and reduced sea ice will affect the polar bears, the answer is very simple. They die." Scientists are trying to find ways to help these polar bears adapt for the future, but it is very difficult unless they are put into zoo or wildlife services. From 2004, only 33% of polar bears were found on ice floats. The other 77% were found on beaches or swimming in the ocean. Most are found on the beaches around dead carcasses of whales butchered by hunters. While a decade ago, you would find them on ice floats hunting for their favorite meal. Some scientists predict polar bears could come extinct in the very near future because they have not adapted to hunting land animals like caribou or protecting themselves from grizzly bears. Polar bears are also required a much higher intake of fat than most of the food on land will provide. To bring this all to a conclusion for you, we need to figure out a way for us as humans to lower the effect of greenhouse gases, and that then in will return help the polar bears. Some countries have already started to put taxes on barrels of oil and coal to at least give money back to the problem that they are creating. In fact, an international carbon tax of just $1 per barrel of oil or $6 per ton of coal could generate more than enough revenue to pay for the necessary fuel-saving measures. We are the ones responsible for global warming, which means we need to help the polar bears because they can't do it by themselves. Thank you for watching.